Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rehan Adil, and today I am going to give you the tips to make online classes much more interesting and much more fun. All right, so the first thing that I would love to do, or I would like to do, is basically make the class much more interesting and much more fun because we gotta have like more talking with our friends, you know, like do much more interacting with like the teacher, so we can make good relation with each other and with the teacher too, which is really nice if we do that. And before we start, I should we should like talk with our friends first on like how are we gonna do for the class, and I suggest contact the teacher too or the professor to you know like make agreement on like do some work, or we can actually ask the teacher if we could do something after class. So yeah, and after that, my second like choices is also make events for the class. So basically in like classes we have like groups basically. So sometimes we get divided, sometimes we work individual, but at the same time we are one in one class. We are like a class, not in divided into different groups. So basically, we should, have our own meeting after classes because that's where we can get like best times with our friends. And, I suggest that's probably, I suggest we do that because it's probably one of the best thing, like it's like a day break, in online classes because in online classes you cannot interact with people like physically because you're from in front of the camera and you can't do anything with that. So I suggest we should like talk with each other more because it's really perfect and it's really nice to get to know each other more because sometimes in online classes it's kind of awkward and it's not good for like social because sometimes we don't really know each other, we can't like physically meet in one room, which is, I'm not saying it's not convenient, but it's what we need to do because it's online and we have to talk virtually. And it's not a bad thing, we can actually do our task while we're on classes, and we can actually like chat with our friends during like classes. If we don't understand, we can ask each other, which is not a bad thing. But we should you know have some more of our own time too in our classes because we actually need it for ourselves, and to get to know each like for each other. And my final point is actually not, it's not like a hard thing to do, but make the class much more fun. Now, I do mention this in the first point, but what I meant is basically make every day, like a good time. We gotta, talk with the teacher more, and we gotta like spend times with the teacher or professor so we can actually do much more. And we should probably do that too, I guess, if the teacher want or the professor want to, so we can have a good like good relation. I do mention that in the previous point, but the reason why I bring up this because we actually need this more because given this option, it's such a huge thing for like social stuff for, and especially in college because college will be probably the hardest part during like online courses because we have a lot of tasks and homeworks that we must do, like doing essays, doing like making videos like this one. But still, we gotta have much more relation with the teacher because it's one of the main things. Because if you don't do it, then it's like we're probably also gonna have like bad situations sometimes with our teacher or miscommunication, which is not a good thing. But that's like the best thing if we have a like good relation with the teacher, which is really good. So yeah, and I really want to do that with my class someday, and I really hope our class do the same thing because sometimes it's really tough to go through like you know talking with the teacher. Sometimes we got a miscommunication, but still we managed to do that. But in the end, it's up to us if we want to do that or no. It depends on us, because we actually need it to make the online classes are better. Because in my experience, the way that I say it, sometimes people, it's not convenient for other people, because some of my friends are not having a great time, in during this online session, because it's not really good for them. But for like the half of the year, it's really been a nice journey, and it's really great, like talking with my friends from like the chat, or maybe like Gmeet. It was really nice, but I hope that we can also meet someday in real life too, and we should like talk with each other, giving like how our days, like doing our stuff, meet together, eat together, or all that kind of stuff. But still, though, I really enjoyed, like doing online classes, and it's much more easier too, if I'm being honest. But still, yeah, it's really enjoyable. It's sometimes it's hard, but sometimes we get our moments too. So yeah, that's all my tips, or maybe suggestions on how to make like the classes much more better. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching the video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.